If you for even a second thought that State of Decay 2 was a difficult zombie survival game, oh boy, you're in for a disappointment. Because compared to Project Zomboid, State of Decay is, well, child's play. And as you may have guessed, duh, from the title of the video, in this video we're going to be discussing Project Zomboid and whether it is worth it to buy right now or not. So let's just get it started. And as always, as with every single one of our videos, I'm going to be giving you the answer right away to not waste your time and give you more time to play or do whatever thing that you want in your life. And the answer is this: Project Zomboid is insanely complicated and complex game that is probably a definitive zombie survival game. But because of its complexity and difficulty, it is a bit difficult to recommend to everyone. However, if you're willing to learn and overcome the learning curve, this is probably the best zombie survival experience games that you will ever play in the past or possibly even in the future. But now let's discuss the details. And if you're new here, or even if you are not, if you want more game reviews, whether games are old, new, popular or not, and if you don't like when review waste your time on useless fluff, well, hit the subscribe button, because here I value your time, because yep, time is precious and you should savor it. But now, Project Zomboid. So what even is Project Zomboid? So in essence, Project Zomboid is zombie survival game where you play in isometric perspective. I know that isometric perspective kills hype for a lot of modern gamers, but trust me, this time it works perfectly. You'll wake up in the midst of zombie apocalypse. Everyone around you is basically dead and turned into, well, undead, and your goal is to survive as long as possible. But don't get me wrong, in this game you will not survive forever. This is basically kind of like a roguelike element in this game, and in this game you will die. It's not that whether you will die, you will die in this game. This is just how game will end eventually, and the entire game is about how you will die and how long you will survive. And in the beginning of the game, you are choosing one of 4 locations where you need to start, and depending on the location where you start, the beginning of the game will be either a little more difficult or a little easier. But don't worry, it's all part of the same large map. Game also has a city, but that is not available to start with, but you can actually traverse there while you play the game. And when I mean that this game is the best zombie survival game, I mean it because it is probably what will happen with you if the zombie apocalypse will really happen. Because yeah, no matter what types of perks that you choose in the beginning, and yeah, you can customize your character to be anything that you possibly can think of, and the perks in this game are simply insane. You can even get it down to whether your character is smoker or not, and it literally affects your gameplay, because yeah, you want to smoke, because yeah, the smoker will want to smoke from time to time, and as you may guess, it's pretty difficult to get by cigarette when everything and everyone is dead. And in the beginning of this game, you are literally just a piece of meat for zombies. You cannot run fast, you cannot hit hard, you don't have anything, you don't have any, well, useful skills. Well, you have some in the beginning if you choose them, but you don't have a lot of them. And best thing that you can do is just to hide as much as possible. And also by realistic, I mean that if you think that you can do something in this game, you most likely can do that in the game, because everything in the game, every item down to a pencil has its use. Even TV has its use. You can even watch different educational TV programs to learn different survival skills. And you can even listen to radio to, well, lift up your spirits. Your character needs food and water, and in the beginning it's a bit easier to come by because there is a lot of fresh food all around, and water is still running in a tap. But as time progresses, fresh food will spoil, and only thing that you will be left is canned food, and eventually, even when this one will run out, you will actually need to grow your own food. And yes, you can do that in this game as well. And in the case of tap water, well, eventually it will run out as well, and you will need to actually search for your own water sources. The same goes with electricity. Electricity will eventually turn off and grid will be down, and if you want electricity and if you want, well, your base lit up, you will actually need generators. But generators will generate sound, and they will require fuel, and if you turn them on within the building, the toxic fumes will actually most likely kill you as well. So all of those things make this game insanely complicated, because you will need to pay attention to a bunch of things which will be overwhelming in the beginning. That might be, it will be overwhelming. Combat-wise, it's insanely difficult to take down even a single zombie, especially if you don't have good traits. But as you progress through the game, as you get more clothing, for example, as you get more clothing that will cover you from all the bites and scratches, which will prevent you from a zombie infection, and as you get better weapons, you will become better at fitness and athletics, you will become better with your melee weapons or even with guns. Killing zombies will become easier, but because you will need to traverse a lot of different territories, you will need to fight far more zombies. And this game basically never becomes easy. Literally never. It is difficult all the time, and it keeps you on your toes all the time. Game also has a burglar mechanics where you can actually break into different houses. It has a complete damage mechanics where a single scratch can actually cause you to, well, get infection and die because if you will not treat it. Small things like breaking into houses where you'll need to pay attention. If you'll break through the window, you'll need to take out all shards of glasses before you go through the window, or otherwise you'll cut yourself. And small details like that, this makes this game insane. You can even drive in this game, and you can even hotwire the cars if you, well, don't have keys for different cars. Yes, fuel is not in excess in the game, but you have quite a huge territory to traverse, and eventually you will learn how to avoid as many zombies as you can. Game also had a helicopter mechanics that will drive a lot of zombies toward you, but it's also exploitable, and you can actually learn how to exploit that as well. Even the vision mechanics in this game is very cool thing, because when you're watching, through an isometric perspective, don't even think that you can see more than your character can, because the only things that you actually can see are the things that your character can see in its immediate vicinity. And for that reason, if you don't look back, zombies might just suddenly appear behind you, because yeah, you're not looking, they are coming, but you cannot see them even if you can see this entire territory around you. And unless you have very good perception skills, yep, zombie sneakings and just immediate sudden deaths will happen pretty often. But all of this sounds pretty good, but what about the pricing? How much this game will cost you? The game is available on Steam for the base price of $19.99 for tier 1 countries and $10.49 for tier 2 countries, and it can go as low as $8.99 for tier 1 countries and $5.99 for tier 2 countries. Is this game actually worth it? Well, I actually played this game alongside State of Decay 2, which is very similar genre-wise, but it plays completely differently to Project Zomboid. And I tried to find whether this game, whether someone should choose State of Decay 2 or Project Zomboid. And if State of Decay 2 is basically for anyone and everyone can play this one, Project Zomboid is not. Even though it's insanely good game, and I would get this over and over again. And for this price and for discounted prices, I myself think that this is absolutely worth it. But if you are not willing to actually spend some time watching different tutorial videos, if you're not willing to spend some time playing complete tutorial level or die over and over and over and over again until you can actually go through your first month or even your first year in the game, yeah, this game will be difficult to recommend. Not because it is bad in any way. I myself think that this game is practically perfect. While it's very low polygonic, this game still looks and plays amazingly. And basically anything can run this game. And I cannot think of the thing that can be added in this game to enhance the gameplay, because this game practically has everything, and it is still getting updates all the time. So is it worth it? Well, if you're willing to spend some time and learn this game, absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. But if you have an attention span of a Fortnite player, probably you will be better off with State of Decay 2. Even though, arguably, Project Zomboid is a better game in every single way, except for graphical complexity. Because yeah, State of Decay looks better graphically. Then not maybe aesthetically. Aesthetically, it is arguable, but graphically, it looks better. But I would still suggest you to try Project Zomboid. At least watch a few playthroughs on YouTube and decide for yourself. And decide after that. Because yeah, complex does not always mean bad. It means that you have a lot of things to do, and you will spend thousands of hours in this game before even getting actual good. And then, oh boy, it just becomes a breeze. Even though this learning curve is pretty pleasant as well. Well, I guess this will be it for today. Thank you for being here with me. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.